Elon's Doge just went to space. Crypto's on a crazy chase.
Hey y'all,
Bolts of
Joefer here, the
lightning
Cranky
in the
Old Gay Guy. It is Tuesday, I believe it's the 25th of February 2025. The windstorm and the rainstorm that we had yesterday it's over, I think. It's still windy out, but nothing like it was. I did lose a few limbs, nothing bigger than like that big around. I think that has to do with the fact that I have trees all along. I'm on a corner, so I have trees that go all along the side of my house and the front of my house. But the power company was out the day before yesterday, and they were chopping all of the limbs that were reaching up to the power area. And they made a mess too. So a lot of the limbs that fell were the limbs that they clipped that they left in the top of the tree because they didn't see them or they got stuck or something. And the wind brought all those down. So this morning I was out cleaning up the street and just making sure nothing had hit my car. So what I'm going to do this morning, something I haven't done, and that is just kind of cover today's headlines. And we're going to get these from the Associated Press. I would love to say that they're a non-biased entity because in the past I believe they are. I think that they're still politically unbiased as far as what they're reporting, but I can see them really being kind of ticked at this administration, as the administration did ban them from White House press conferences because they refused to address the Gulf of Mexico as the Gulf of America. And someone had a hissy fit and said ban them. So that's what happened there. So headlines from the Associated Press this morning. Live updates. 21 employees resign from Doge, refusing to dismantle critical public services. So it's not just his little band of teenage and early 20 boys. Evidently, that's a larger group. I would think it would have to be more since they're going around to every agency. But if 21 of them left, I don't know if those were people that were already in those agencies that Doge just took over, or if they were employees Doge actually hired. I'm not going to dive deep into that because I don't see a link for that. That's just a headline. But the way I was hearing it was in the past was Doge has taken over certain groups, and the people that have resigned as of yesterday and the day before were people who had been working there already and just refused to do what Doge was telling them to do. Nearly 40% of contracts canceled by Musk's Doge are expected to produce zero savings. That's right, zero savings. House Speaker Mike Johnson tries to push Trump's big agenda forward, but GOP votes are in jeopardy. And that's because you have one or two people currently in the House that disagree with a lot of what Trump is pushing. Judge rejects immediately restoring Associated Press's access to the White House, but urges the government to reconsider, which means the judge is not getting involved. That's all that means. Okay. Trump expresses hope Russia's war in Ukraine is nearing an endgame as he meets with France's Macron. Oh boy. I don't know if anyone watched this clip yesterday, but Trump was repeating some lies about the grant money that's been given and how the war in Ukraine has been funded. And Macron stopped him in a live press conference and said, no, that's not what France did. France paid 60% of blah, 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 and grants and loans, etc. And Trump goes, and then Trump repeated it again, that all the money that was given to Ukraine by France is a loan and has to be paid back, even though Macron just said that wasn't true. Western leaders visit Kiev and pledge military support against Russia on the third anniversary of the war. And U.S. should have been there as well. These are my opinions. But Vladimir Putin is the person that started this war by invading a sovereign country, regardless of whether that country had been part of the USSR in the past. It's not now. So it's a sovereign country. It should not have been invaded. Putin says he did it because they were threatening to join NATO. Again, sovereign country, it's none of his business if they want to join NATO or not. And right now, NATO is coming to their aid anyway. These Western leaders they're talking about are NATO members. And some have suggested that Kiev be brought into NATO as a protective measure against Russia. The US and Ukraine are closing in on a mineral deal. What changed and what's next? Well, this is outright extortion by the Trump administration, who stated that if you want any more aid, you're going to give us 50% in perpetuity of all of your rare minerals and oil sales from the Ukraine. President Zelensky stated that he doesn't want to make a deal that 10 generations down are still going to be paying the price for. And he shouldn't have to. He shouldn't have to. This is just a, what do they say, quid pro quo thing by the Trump administration. He's also stated that all the money that was given to Ukraine to help battle the war, by the way, most of that went to American contractors for weapons sales. So that money stayed here. It didn't really go to Ukraine. It went to arms manufacturing here in the States. Arms and equipment manufacturing. So to say now that all of that was a loan and you owe us all this money is BS. But someone who wants to be a crybaby tyrant is overseas making the United States look really, really bad. He's not overseas, his people are overseas, but it's him talking. Okay, on to happier news. Supreme Court turns back challenges to laws keeping abortion opponents away from clinics and patients. So what they're saying is that you can still protest, but you can't protest, let's say, on the abortion clinic's property. You can't harass the people going in and out. I mean, they do it anyway, but to actually go up and do it on the property, that is what they're banned from doing. And the opponents of this ban have challenged it in court, and the Supreme Court said, no, we're not going to hear this case. Desperation grows in northern Gaza as Palestinians struggle to rebuild their homes. Gaza is another issue. That headline doesn't tell me anything we didn't already know. They've been struggling for a long time. What Israel has done, in my opinion, is way over the top. Yes, Israel had the right to defend themselves, but to massacre, and it is a massacre, an entire nation. You didn't just go after Hamas. You didn't send in elite forces to take them out. You didn't round them all up and put them in one city and blow the heck out of it. No, you wiped out an entire country, and it is a land grab. And that has been hinted at many times, but it came to light last week or the week before when Trump and Netanyahu sat there on stage. And Trump talked about how they're going to push all the remaining, or relocate all the remaining Palestinians to other countries and redevelop and rebuild Gaza into the Rivy era of the Middle East. Yeah. Mid-air collision in Arizona prompts questions about air traffic control towers. This story, it doesn't say what it is, but if it is what I'm thinking, it's last week. Kid Rock's, is it Kid Rock? No. It's the guy from Poison, the lead singer. His private plane with his girlfriend and his girlfriend's friend on there, two ladies, were coming into, I think, Scottsdale, and they hit another plane on the runway that was taxiing or something, and it killed the pilot or pilots of the other plane. And it didn't hurt. It's Vince Neil. Is it Vince Neil? No, that's Motley Crue. I don't know. It's a big hairband rocker guy from the 90s. It was his plane. And now I guess traffic control towers they're trying to blame it on that or something. I don't know. Pope Francis is met at the hospital of Vatican number 2 took major governing decision. So maybe he's actually going to step down because of his illness. He's been on death's door, I guess, for 3 or 4 days or longer. That's a story that posted 54 minutes ago about the Pope. Not being Catholic, I don't follow the Pope intensely like some people. That's another thing I'm not going to go down because it's religion and I don't want to poop on anyone's religion. But why anyone would ever think one person is their connection to a higher spirit or higher power is beyond me. Illinois landlord charged with 2023 hate crimes and murder of a Palestinian-American boy set for trial. He murdered the Palestinian boy, I believe, by setting him on fire. Now, I could be confused about that, but that's a story that I heard once and then didn't hear it again until now. It looks like he's set for trial. Coca-Cola's appeal to Palestinians fizzles as the Mideast war boosts demand for a local lookalike. I don't know why that's even a story. Puppy Mountain photo draws onlookers to a Chinese riverside. It's a photo of the side of a hill where it looks like there has been some of the cliff is broken off. So it looks like the shape of the hill is the snout, and where the rocks have fallen, it's white. So it's eyes. It looks, yeah. Again, why is this a story? This is the AP. This is supposed to be hard-hitting news, not this fluff stuff. Apple shareholders reject proposal to scrap company's diversity program. So the shareholders of Apple have said, nope, DEI is staying in place. Even though Apple as a company and Tim Cook have donated big bucks to Trump to get on his good side and follow his policies. British musicians released a silent album to protest plans to let AI use their work. Okay, this is a story I did read, not on the AP, but from another source. And what they're doing is a group of British musicians are putting out an LP, and it is ambient noise. And in hushed tones, it states that the copyright laws in Britain shouldn't be changed to allow the theft of an artist's work. It's important because copyrights are, with AI, it's been contentious now for a bit. Why anyone would buy this silent album, unless they're really into ambient noise, which is just background like white noise crap stuff. I'm sorry if you're a fan. I'm not going to call it crap, but to me, it's crap. It doesn't state where the money is going to go from this album, because if all these artists got together and wow, they created ambient noise, or they turned on a computer and it created, that would be the gist. As if this computer was actually if this album, if it was AI generated by these artists, wouldn't that be something that they're complaining about it and then they're using it and trying to make money from it? I don't know where the money's going. Doesn't say. Ron DeSantis talks up his wife as the next Florida governor. Oh boy, another monarchy like the Bushes. And takes a shot at Trump's pick. So it sounds like Trump wants someone else to run against DeSantis, and he wants DeSantis out. Not going to read that. Packers oppose. Oh, Packers, that sounds like, no, we're not talking meat packers. This is not a gay porn. We're talking about football. So I'm not even going to go there because I zero interest. In fact, football is almost offensive to me because it's, I don't get it. I don't get why anyone wants to watch it. I don't get why anyone would want to play it. And I don't get why people get paid as much as they do to play football. That makes no sense to me. Mystery illness in the Congo has killed more than 50 people hours after they fell sick. Oh, good. Another plague's coming out. This is not... How do you like the way I stopped in mid-sentence to sip? This is, by the way, Vietnamese coffee. Something pho nam. It's a powder. It's a stronger coffee, but it's also sweet. And although there's no cocoa in it, it kind of tastes chocolatey. I just didn't feel like another cup of black coffee this morning before I head out. Okay, Ebola, there was an outbreak, I think, last week or something in the Congo. Bird flu, I think there's a bird flu. I heard 2 cases of that in the Congo. Not that the Congo is the only place that these things happen, but that's what this is reporting on. And I think they're reporting on it because it's another potential pandemic in the making. I mean, a lot of things are. But I believe they're probably bringing it up to report the news, but they're also bringing it up because the CDC right now, with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. at the helm, is very anti-vaccines. Even though he'll say he's not, but then in his speech he'll say he is. When he's in front of people, he'll say he is, but when he's on TV, he says he isn't. We just need to have more study. Well, you can't have more study because the Trump administration and DOJ stopped all medical research through the CDC. It's also not allowing the CDC or the World Health Organization. I don't want to say the WHO. I shouldn't say that because they're not fully in charge of that. But the organization that releases medical papers in the United States showing disease rates, death rates, etc., they've all been stymied as well and told that they are not allowed to release anything without the Trump administration's approval. So not even Robert F. Kennedy can get this paper and put it out there until someone in the White House tells him it's okay to do so. What this country's become is appalling. I don't get it. I don't get why people don't see what's happening. And there was a press conference I watched a clip of. I believe it's the governor of Maine who stated that their state would not start treating transgender people on campus as just male or just female, because they are in between or they're in transition. And they're not going to get rid of that policy of protecting them. And this was, I don't know how it happened, but the governor was right there talking to Trump. Again, this is audio, but they're in the same room. And she said, no, you can't do this. We're not going to do this. We're going to follow the law. And Trump said, you'll follow the law. We're the law. And she goes, I will see you in court. And he goes, fine. I don't know. It was stupid. Well, the whole policy's stupid. There again, I'm saying it again. It's a stupid policy because diversity, equity, and inclusion is not there to give minorities an advantage. It is designed to equal the playing field. And I'm not the first person to say this, but people who have lived in a world of privilege, we're talking primarily white men, for centuries, when a minority group or class is suddenly brought up to the same level, which is what DEI is supposed to help with, then the white minority or majority, these white men I'm talking about, feel like they're being oppressed, that you're taking something away from them. Well, you're not taking it away from them. It's not a pie where there's only so many pieces. There's enough for everybody. It's kind of like love. People will say, well, how can you love that person when you're supposed to be loving me? Well, love is infinite. And believe it or not, so is opportunity. Opportunities can be for everyone. And the most qualified person is the one that gets the job. That's what DEI is. They're not going to take 2 people for the same position where one has 0 skills and one has all the skills and give it to the person with 0 skills, regardless of what color they are. That's not what DEI does. And on that note, it is now my exit time where I have to take off. And I will get this put in well, up this evening because I have to push it in the editor to get my titles on it. That's usually the longest part of posting videos. But if you don't put a title page and you don't create a thumbnail, then the system overlooks it. And it's important that I continue to grow the channel, and that means more people watching and more subscribers. I want it to be a success. I know that when I started it, I said that I'm going to do a video every day for 1 year, and then I will reassess where I'm at personally, financially, online, and see if I can make any tweaks, make any tweaks or changes. But yeah, that's where we're at. So if you notice that my style of video changes, most of that is because of time. And a lot of it is because I want to see what works better for the viewer and what they want to see. Everything I see online is authenticity. Everyone wants to be authentic. Don't use these polished sets and polished designs and everything is scripted out where you don't make any mistakes. And I agree. I would much rather see someone just being natural. And I'm trying to be natural. Oh, that's like one of those old commercials, Natural Beauty, but that's beside the point. I got to go. I will see you all tomorrow on Wednesday. Have a great Tuesday, and we'll see you on Hump Day. Hump it is.
Elon's Doge just went to space. Crypto's on a crazy chase. Bolts of lightning in the sky. Weather gods are saying hi. Presidential antics wild, acting like a reckless child. Tweets are flying like a storm. Chaos now the daily norm. Headlines blazing, morning news. What a world we can't refuse. Joefer's hot takes going viral. Every day is like survival. Supreme Court shaking up the ground. Laws and rights keep spinning round. Raining cats and dogs today. Nothing normal on display. Elon's Doge could buy the moon. Weather hot but snow in June. Politics a circus show. Future's here but moves too slow. Headlines blazing, morning news. What a world we can't refuse. Joefer's hot takes going viral. Every day is like survival.